He's some funky Dixieland pretty mine. Alright, here we go. Looks good, looks good. I think it looks good. Better make sure. Ready? Just a slash unhost. Yeah. I don't like how it shows me offline. Alright, here we go. Cool. I say it and therefore it shall be done. A little late, I know. I had to go watch an incredibly depressing movie today. Infinity War. And we finally got out to see Infinity War. We figured with Deadpool coming out, probably taking the #1 spot, we'd have a chance to see it without any real. I don't like to be in like a really packed theater. I used to go to like all the opening nights and stuff like that for a lot of these comic movies and stuff, but I started getting a little irritated. It's actually around Spider-Man 2. I just remember my wife and I got to the theater like we thought stupid early. This is back when we were dating, and we ended up being sat like way to the side, and it was just a theater full of screaming children, and it was not a pleasant movie viewing experience. And I find myself not really willing to tolerate that much anymore. I'll do it for Star Wars usually still. Like I'll go see a Star Wars movie in premiere date. I don't think we're going to do it for Solo. I don't think we did it for Rogue One either. My wife forced me not to go to the opening night of Last Jedi. Just because she wasn't going to go. My daughter wanted to see it. My daughter wanted to go without her mother, so it was like we kind of got stuck there without. So we saw it the opening weekend, but. Lips stop asking. Relax and start passing. I will say this: I had a great experience at the theaters. Years ago, when I went to Chicago on a business trip, there's like an old little mall. The mall itself was like on the process of shutting down, but the theater was still open, and the theater was really nice. And it was almost entirely empty the 2 nights I went there. I went on. I saw Godzilla and Winter Soldier there. And oh god, it was so wonderful. It was like nobody there. It was dead center. I think by the time it was all said and done, there may have been like 6 people that got in the theater on either one of those days. I did see the Loving Vincent movie opening night at the theaters. Now, admittedly, that was. I forget what time the movie was. Shit, I gotta think about that now. It was a pretty late show. I think it might have been like a 10 o'clock show or something like that. And but there was nobody there. It's a little art house theater. So I remember the show was early enough. I had wanted to catch some of the stuff that was out for First Friday, but First Friday seemed to like die early. Like when I was in college, I remember First Friday celebrations would like last till like, I mean, late at night. It seemed. And it was like a party down, Old City. Some of my friends say it has recently been dying out, which is a pity. If I had to give you my, it's only been a year, but I got my foot through the door, and I ain't going nowhere. Now, as I said, this is my little gray cat, so y'all might be wondering, why the hell does he look so funky colored? That's because I have no idea what I'm doing. I don't think I can go over how many times I've admitted on this thing that I'm a moron. I don't want this song. Alexa, skip. That's the shit. She thinks it's a popular song. So she puts on. It's not popular with this guy. So come on, anybody out there say hi? Give me something to talk about. What you seen recently? Movie-wise, huh? I don't want to like have a spoiler discussion. I mean, like if it was Avengers, but just interested. I mean, I'll be honest. I look at this movie season. I'm like, shit, my wild's hurting. It's already hurting. I heard it cry today. I figure you got Ant-Man and Wasp coming out. We still got to see Deadpool too, obviously. Me and my wife on that one. Let's see. There's Jurassic World too, right? Hey man, where'd you get that lotion? Something called love. A lip called love. Well, it's like hypnotizing chickens. Of course, I've had it in the ear before. That's for life. I am amazed. I was actually able to get my goddamn lawn mowed today. My lawn looked like a fucking jungle. I was worried like the World Wildlife Federation was going to come out and like give me a bunch of shit about like the capuchin monkeys. I'm sure we're living in my front yard at this point. Beat my brains. Now, I did try to show Kyurem this painting. the other morning, and he didn't seem very interested, and a bird or something outside caught his eye, and he took off. It's not very large art aficionado, you know. As I said, he's not my smart cat. Here comes Johnny and again with liquor and drugs in search of him. He's gonna do another striptease. Something called love. Love, love, love. Well, that's like hypnotizing chickens. I always love when songs like this get misused in a lot of ways. Like, you know, when Lust for Life first came out, the song, not the movie. The movie's different. I do have that too, but, you know, it's from Train Spot, and it's pretty much all about drug addiction. I mean, the song's the same way, and you know, but it started appearing like in like car commercials and cruise line commercials. It's still freaking used in a lot of ways for this. I always laugh at stuff like that. I remember, I think it was my 8th grade dance or freshman dance or something like that. There was a you know, what should we have our class? Yeah, the song for that dance be as a theme or whatever. Somebody suggested Under the Bridge by Red Hot Chili Peppers. And I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? It's like, it's a good song. I'm not saying it's not a good song. It's a song about him literally being under a bridge, you know, or get high and almost OD'd, like, you know. It made me laugh. Not like in a ha-ha way, but way. Like, someone hasn't listened to the lyrics ever. Gonna show up my world. I'm bound to see your way. Tell you truly not to want my head. It's with me. That's right. I'm gonna leave a little looseness here because I want to actually be able to remember this part because it's kind of important. Understand what the hell's happening. How about the Vegas Golden Knights inaugural season, and they're already in the frickin' Stanley Cup playoffs? That's pretty amazing. It's like, that's a cool story. I think the Marlins did that too, didn't they? It was like their first or second season. Like, I mean, obviously they didn't make it to the Stanley Cup. If they did, that would have been fucking amazing. That'd have been fucking phenomenal. But they, yeah, the fact that they, I think they did something like that. They made it to the playoffs. If not the World Series, I forget. something like that. See, I thought I usually get people on Sundays for some reason. So you can take you home. I cannot save you. I can't even save myself. Let's see. Now it is a short night. I know that. I got Westworld tonight. Alright, fine. I'll give it. Let's see, there's a bunch of other people whoring themselves out. I'm going to give it a shot here. Why not? There, electrical skateboard. I put a... What the hell's that? Oh, I got new Prime loot. I think that's where I got that. Oh, it's all fuzzy again. Look at that. Let me go to the live version of it. There we go. That's better. It's nice. Again, I'm bored, so nobody's talking. So I'll be walking. Wow. I fucking cracked. I think it's obvious. I think it's clear. You know. keep my eyes out open all the time. You keep my hands out for the tide that binds. Because you're mine, I walk the line. Find it very, very easy to be true. I find myself when each night's through. 'Cause I'll admit that I'm a fool for you. Because you're mine, I walk the line. Alright, electrical skateboard, enter your contest thingamajigger. How's that? That hosts me. Yes, I know moves and it's right. Because you're mine, I walk the line. Got a way to keep me on your side. You give me hugs when I can't hide. Yeah, I know I'd even try to tame the tide. Because you're mine, I walk the line. I'd keep a close watch on this heart of mine. I keep my eyes wide open all the time. You keep the ends out for the tide that binds. Because you're mine, I walk the line. Told you guys, Scuttle singing, you guys don't fucking show up. I'm just gonna follow John Sandman's thing. He says, just keep doing it on your time. Put your time in. Do I have to put my handcuffs on you, mama? Do I have to keep you under lock and key? Do I have to put my handcuffs on you, mama? I have to laugh. Now, my wife and I watch, I mean, we're big Marvel fans for the movies and stuff. We've been watching Jessica Jones season 2 recently. We didn't start it when it came out. But we're trying to get caught up before Luke Cage comes on. And I was watching it, you know, and I won't spoil anything, but let's just put it this way. At one point, Jessica was definitely across from somebody that she should have recognized. You know, at least when they reveal who it was. And then you're like, how did she not know it was that person? And then, like, I was sitting there, I was confused by that for, like, yeah, we watch it we really only watch it usually Friday nights. And then, sure enough, like, the next episode they explained it. I was like, oh, okay. It was funny. I'm like, dude, how did she not know this? Like, that seems strange. And then I was like, damn it, they made me look like an asshole. I'm good enough at that by myself. Thank you very much. That would be uncool. A little bit of that. You're down in the blues. I don't care. I'm looking like a chauvinistic kind of whatever kind. Cause you could go to hell. If I find that I need some help, I'm gonna pull out that chastity belt. What is I got to do? possessive, never chill. Now, I will say again, tomorrow is probably going to be late. I'm not sure. It's my son's belt test. Usually those classes run long. Not that it seems that it will affect anybody's lives or expectations, because nobody ever shows up. But just FYI, if you turn in, I'll repeat it before close out the night. So I guess it's more for people that maybe catch up on YouTube, but I know there's no views there either. So, it's really just for my own mouthing. I gotta try to figure out what I'm gonna be for Halloween this year. I don't know if I want to try to fix the idea that I had last year that didn't end up working out. Like, it literally fell apart, quite literally on Halloween. Like, I had it all set. I had done test runs. I thought everything was worked out, and then my headpiece fell off when it last. So I don't know if I want to try to salvage it and do something different with it. I thought it would have been a good one, but it just didn't work. Once it came down to actual having to move and chase children. I never even got that far. We shall overcome. Where you get that funk from? Oh. Time to do. Shoot them with a pop gun. Baby. Got to get it over the hump. Does this come through? I gotta look at this in the live version. Let me drop that. I want to see if it. It shows a little bit, I guess. I'm mixing just on canvas the French Ultramarine with the oxided chromium green. It's kind of giving it a little bit of a graying out, actually. I mean, is this going to be the end-all be-all? Absolutely not, but it does do kind of what I wanted it to do. What you got to do? Now, my wife and I did do all of our planning and purchasing needed for our vacation this summer. And I know you're going, why do I give a shit about your vacation, Brian? And I would say you probably shouldn't, except one of the places we're going, and one of the reasons we chose this vacation is strictly for me to get these pictures. We're going to be going to Luray Caverns taking some pictures. And one of the paintings I did, right after I was kind of catching back up and coming back into my own mindset, was a view of Luray Caverns. And it really was a rather successful piece. I really was content with the results that came out of it. It fought me. It was a hard piece. But by the time it was said and done, it was kind of nice to look at. It wasn't terrible. And I like it because I think there's nothing like it in any of the things that I've ever followed. So it really is mine, None of the Impressionist masters that I've ever looked after and considered masters, or even like guys like Delacroix or any of that stuff, none of them have ever done anything like that. And so I kind of take a great deal of pride in that one, that it's mine. But the picture I'd used was a very, very old picture. I wasn't even sure it was going to work. It was the best one I had from that trip, which was my wife and I's honeymoon, actually. Which is one of the reasons why I kind of took it, was that, again, keep in mind, I was in a pretty bad spot, and so I was looking for things that gave me positive memories, positive thoughts. So the honeymoon was a pretty good one for that. Not for the reasons you think, guys. But get your filthy minds out of there. Totally did it. Anyway, I can say this shit because nobody's here. Watch turns on being hosted somewhere. But the said, but I wanted to do that thing, and like I said, it kind of came out very unique looking, very special, and I was like, dude, I want to try that again. See if that's like one of the motifs I could do several times. Now, as I said, I'm still doing a lot of underpainting here. This is really not much more than that. This is going to take a lot of work. We're going to have to kind of go in, go out, go in, go out on this one, just to get Kyurem's colors translated properly into my style and my way of painting. I don't know if I can get in trouble for, like, if I call this painting a portrait of Kyurem. Can I get in trouble for that with Nintendo? I mean, it's the name of the cat. That's his fucking name. My son named him after the Pokemon, yes. Now, I told some stories about him last week, and I'll keep going. Yeah, that was last week. I guess it was Sunday's new day. So, I do find it funny now. If you don't know who Kyurem is as the Pokemon, Kyurem is basically the Pokemon version of the 9/11 attacks, and I'm not being facetious there or adding in my own kind of interpretation. If you're familiar with Pokemon Black and White, when Kyurem appears, he appears towards, I think, the end of the game. And it may be Black and White 2, I don't remember. But Black and White and Black and White 2 take place basically in what is a Pokemon version of New York City. The New York area.
And where Kyurem appears in the game is actually roughly where the Twin Towers would stand. Additionally, Kyurem's height in the game is listed as 9 feet 11 inches. I mean, they were about as subtle as a jackhammer, at a nitroglycerin plant. Um, so it's not like this is not like fan theory. This is pretty much a given at this point. So, and they call him like a great destructor or whatever. I think is something like that in the game. And now the reason I'll say this is funny, and it's not because of it's referencing, obviously, but the whole idea about him being a destroyer. Pretty much, if something ends up broken in my house, all right, knocked over and broken, with the exception of water glasses, water cups will get knocked over regularly by Mickey, not by Kyurem. Just because Mickey, literally, as I said, he's our glutton. He really will go after anything that bears a resemblance to food or water in our house, even though we provide plenty of both to that fat cat. It's just never enough for him. But anything else, it's Kyurem. I said he's our hunter, and he will hunt even things we don't want him to hunt, like vases and so I found it amusing that my son named him just basically based on his color. He was a gray cat, and Kyurem is considered a gray Pokemon. He's in black and white. Like the two black and white legendaries can merge with Kyurem and make him either Kyurem black or Kyurem white. And so that's all my son based it off of. They were kids when we got him. And then it turns out that he had named him properly because this is our little destroyer. I found that funny. You should have seen me trying to explain that to my wife about how I found it hilarious that Vincent named him, completely apropos. And I had to explain to her the Kyurem details, and she was looking at me and her eyes glazed over. Like, I can hear in her head, my God, I should divorce this man. What was I thinking? I'll never drink that much again. Those things. Happy marriage thoughts. He's got kind of a darker patch, and he does actually have these. It's got a really interesting pattern. I mean, he really doesn't look on the surface as just a plain gray cat, just one solid tone. But if you really pay attention, his tail gets darker. Yeah, my wife and I sometimes used to wonder whether or not these cats really were brothers. They were found together, but the stuff that we had read about cats prior, because of the cats we had before, was that if you got them from the same litter, they would be cool with each other. And these two are assholes to each other all the time. My buddy Jeff posts pictures of his cats, and they were from the same litter. And they're cool, and they sleep together still, and they've been together now a year or two. And, they rest together, and they sleep, and they're cute, and I'm sure they fight too, but it's just funny because we don't get pictures of my two cats sleeping together. They don't do that. They did it when they were kittens for a little while, and that was about it. Nowadays, even if they climb up in the bed with us in the middle of the night, one sleeps curled up between my wife's legs, and the other curls up between my legs. I usually get this one. that made a lovely noise. This is so much easier when people are chatting, man. Chicks dig it. 4:30. It's not late. No. It's just early. What time is it? 4:30. It's not late. No. It's just early. It's my bread and butter. Ain't got no other. Bits on me. But he sweat through his talcum. Newspaper man, he walked like a falcon. Hey, Daddy-o! Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. President, where you been, man? Using English to doctor the spin. 4:30. It's just early. 10 hop. Don't lie, he's hopping mad. Jump upon some jam she had. Send me back to old Baghdad. Spin doctor, shucks, it's all so sad. So now we got his butt there. So we have like his hindquarters here. Kind of like where his butt is. It's kind of interesting. Let's see what happened here. It's on the TV. I don't know how he found that comfortable. And he sits like that a lot up there. I really don't know. He woke me up this morning. He was there. His brother started every time. And my phone started buzzing because my son got up early, downstairs playing the PS4, and so his friends start buzzing with invites. So my phone has the PlayStation app, so every time he gets an invite, I find out about it, and it's just because friends like send like en masse like invites for some reason. They can't seem to just like send one and let it sit. They send like 40 of them every time. So I'm getting all these buzzes. And I go check my phone because I want to make sure it wasn't anything like actually important, you know. Make sure it's like not my mother telling me like, you know, something happened, I gotta get to the hospital for something or whatever, you know. Like, so I look at my phone, And Mickey, the fat one, he hops right over the bed thinking, oh, it's wake up time. Yay! And so he jumps on the bed. Meow, meow, meow. Feed me time. And so I'm sitting there like, just I kind of shove him off me because I'm not the one in charge of feeding. I try to make that clear. I'm in charge of all the other stuff. I'm clean up their shit. When they misbehave, I enforce it. Like I'm not bad. I'm not mean to my cats, but I like to remind them that I can just squish them. So when they act up, I lay on top of them. Not putting a lot of pressure in, just enough so they can't move, and they're just reminded, oh yeah, he's the big one. Because they sometimes get out of. And if you ever want to know when your cat's getting out of hand, I'll tell you this: watch for when they don't cover up their shit. That's a hint. When it's time that's when they're kind of establishing, I'm the dominant one now, asshole. And that's when you have to go, no, you're not. Like I said, that's when I usually have to. And they start, like my two, start fighting a lot more, and it's always the same signs. This happens every few months. But like I said, I'm getting confused. So Mickey's mewing at me, whatever, blah blah blah. And I'm like, dude, get off of me, go elsewhere. And eventually, he gave up. But Kyurem jumped on the bed, and he was getting ready to go back to sleep. It looked like, because he likes to clean himself, like most cats do. So Kyurem's laying between my feet, and I'm just hearing, all that stuff. And I'm like, oh, dude. And I moved my leg a little bit, and that's when he really woke me up, because he just right on my toes. He did not appreciate me moving, and I did not appreciate getting bit. And we decided mutually that it was no longer time for us to sleep. Celebrate the night when Jamesy made the trophy of his donkey's better half. I really do have dreams one day of going to Ireland, going to Jamesy's bar, which I assume is in Donegal. Because I understand that this is Darcy's Drunken Donkey by Gaelic Storm. And my understanding is that bar is real, and there is a donkey's ass that hangs above the bar. So it's an ass's ass. And obviously Darcy's story, I imagine, is not quite true, but after all, this is the same band as things don't let the truth stand in the way of a good story. But I want to see that. See if it's true. Not like if the story's true, but just see if the bar is really there and there's really a donkey's ass on it. It would make my day. Low rider drives a little slower. The low rider is a little colder. This song always makes me wish for a stool. Low Rider by War. Now you're going, why do you want a stool, Brian? No, you're not, because you're not here. Now, when I was in the high school radio station, we had this on the cart. And this is one of those carts that I consider sacred. I was never getting rid of. And so I'd put it on. We had this cart. We had this stool, for us to sit on. Surprising. I got up and dance on it. Just a twist with it. It was incredibly stupid. This thing was an old rickety piece of shit. This is a good thing Mr. I doesn't come here. Mr. I was the guy who was in charge of the radio station. He thought I was a good, guy on the station. I did a lot of stupid shit there. You guys, I think you could suspend me if you found out some of the stories that I told, like now, right? I know he's here. Okay, shit. I remember one time we were supposed to run the show. It's me and Bob, and we were supposed to run that show until like they were doing the baseball team made it to something in like Harrisburg or something, and they were supposed to patch us in, patch the station into it so that we could run it, and we were just there to run the board after that. But they couldn't quite get it right, and on their side, so we asked Mr. I what he wanted us to do. I said, well, we're gonna keep trying. I said, if worst case, maybe we can call in and we can patch it through the phone that way. So we tried to do that. That didn't work well. Mr. I just said, stay there and just give updates. We'll call in every now and then and give you a score. Now, it also happened to be a half day. So we had run that radio station. It was supposed to be just me and Bob. And we were supposed to run that station from, I guess half days were like 11:30. And we were there until, God, almost 9 o'clock night. And I was like, the school was forcing us out at that point. And it was, at one point, my oldest daughter's mother was over running the board along with my friend Phil, who went to Interboro. So he's from a competing school, but they didn't have a radio station, so he wanted to play with it. It's just like me and Bob were sitting in the TV studio area, smoking cigarettes, eating pizza, and we started fucking around with the video equipment, like, you know, 'cause Bob was on that too, so he knew a little bit about it. Taught me some things. And at one point, we got a shot of Nevermind's cover, and Bob put my face. Yeah, he had one camera on that, and had adjusted it so that my face was on the baby's penis. That was nice. That was fun. He didn't tell me what he was doing until I was like, oh, look at this shot. I got my knuckles bruised by a lady in black that held my tongue as she told me, son, fear is the heart of love. So I never went back. If heaven and hell decide that they both are satisfied, illuminate the notes on their vacancy signs. If there's no one beside you when your soul embarks, then I'll follow you into the dark. You and me have seen everything to see, from Bangkok to Calgary, and the soles of your shoes are all worn down. The time for sleep is now. It's nothing to cry about, 'cause we'll hold each other soon, and black is the moon. Heaven and hell decide that they both are satisfied. I'll follow you into the dark. I'll follow you into the dark.
One way or another, I'm gonna find ya. I'm gonna get you one way. gonna meet you one day. And we'll drive past your house. And if the lights are all out, I'll see who's around. I'll get ya. I'm gonna meet you one day. Maybe next week. I'm gonna meet ya. If the lights are all out, I'll follow your bus downtown. See who's hanging out. I'm gonna give you the slip. Slip it right here, Paranala. One way or another. One way or another.
There's a beer in the time, and it makes a fiery ring. I was desire. I fell into a ring of fire. I fell into a burning ring of fire. Went down, 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 and the flame went higher. It burns, burns, burns. The ring of fire, the ring of fire. I fell into a burning ring of fire. Went down, 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 and the flame went higher. And it burns, burns, burns. The ring of fire, the ring of fire. At least love is sweet, but others like ours is meat. I fell for you like a child. No, but the fire was wild. I fell into a burning ring of fire. I went down, 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 and the flame went higher. And it burns, burns, burns. The ring of fire, the ring of fire. I fell into a burning ring of fire. And see, I just added Social Distortion's version of this. How much you want to bet that that's going to be the next one on? This song's going to fuck with me and put the same song on twice, but from different artists. Burns, burns, burns. Ring of fire. Ring of fire. I'm not saying that Amazon Music does it a lot, but Amazon Music does that stuff a lot. No.
When I'm walking, I strung stuff, then I'm so strung out.
Where's right? Anybody know what happened to right? There it is. Oh, but you know what? I just saw where the other one can go. I got that. I got it. I got it. I got it. Why didn't you tell me? Jesus. People love this.
Yeah, so Brian, we're not even on here. What the fuck are you talking about? And I'm like, whatever. This is my United States of whatever.
Like two people get that.
This is my United States of whatever. Let me go on, like a glister in the sun. Let me go on.
Big hands, I know you're the one.
This is my United States of whatever.
It gave me two songs. So it wasn't Ring of Fire, and it was Blister in the Sun, Ring of Fire by Social Distortion. What a fucking piece of shit. But I'm going to listen to it because, damn it,
I've been waiting for this to pop up.
love is a burning thing.
And it makes
A fiery ring. I've been born in the land of desire. I fell into a ring of fire. I fell into a burning ring of fire. I went down, 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 and the flames went higher. And it burns, burns, ring of fire, the ring of fire. The taste of love is sweet when hearts like ours meet. I fell like a child, but the fire was wild. I fell into a burning ring of fire. I went down, 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 and the flames went higher. And it burns, burns, burns. The ring of fire, ring of fire.
that is so funny to me.
like a child. But the fire went wild. I fell into a burning ring of fire. I went down, down, down. The flames went higher. And it burns, burns, burns. I fell into a burning ring of fire. It's okay if it gets a little messy up here, I think. Burns, burns. Like I said, this is still like part of the building process. Yeah. If this goes to plan, that's a huge if. And we're gonna stop it soon because it's time for getting ready for Westworld. But if this all goes to plan, Alexa, stop. Got confused now. The whole thing straight. But if this all goes to plan, exactly how I want it to, what should work out here is like basically once we start throwing on the overtone of it, there should actually be very little work, as opposed to like the last painting. This one hopefully has enough of the bright colors and the undertones that once we start slapping on the overtones of it, it should just kind of pop in there together and work really well. And you go, Brian, why didn't you do that in your other painting? And I go, I don't fucking know. I don't know what I'm doing here. You guys have to understand that. Every painting, I have no idea what I'm doing. Actually, that looks pretty nice. I'm going to pop in some of that. That's some ultramarine picked up accidentally, but I think I like it. Make a little note to that. That was a little too much, but you know, we can mix it in a couple of places and then we'll pull it back. So we'll go with that, and pull it in, and pull it out. You know what? That's what we do. We pull out, you know? My kids had me acting, yeah, they were acting like made me wish I had pulled out. It almost came out right. That almost was funny. My kids were painting ass. The theater, they were fine. It was afterwards that things turned to shit. We were asking them what they wanted to do for dinner afterwards. We were just ordering from one of two places. Let's go Double Deck or Applebee's, just because it's just easier. And my son waited to find out what his sister wanted, so he could pick the exact opposite. Unfortunately, what his sister wanted was pretty much where my wife and I's brains already were. So then he got all pissy because it's like Sophia won. It's like, no, Sophia just happened to agree with Mommy and Daddy, without knowing she was agreeing with Mommy and Daddy. My son was a bit of an asshole, right? He's at that age. He's at that, you know. I'm not, you know, if he sees this 20 years from now, he sees it tomorrow for all I care. It's not faulting him for being 11 years old. It's just he's 11 years old, so he's going to behave like that. I mean, he's always had that thing with his sisters. They fight literally over everything. And they will constantly wait. One will wait for the other one constantly, and then once they make a decision, it's the exact opposite. And she does it to him, and he does it to her. And technically, he started it years ago when he was younger, and it's like we've been trying to tell him since. Whatever you pick, whatever you want, you need to let her think you don't want it, because then she'll pick it. Tried to tell him about reverse psychology, like when he was like 4 years old. It's like, dude, you've got to pick this up. She will fight you on everything because you fight her on everything. So she's learned that behavior from you. So if you want to switch it, you need to learn how to switch it. And I just kind of in the zone here. I don't want to really leave it, but I've got to. Maybe there. Actually, maybe that's it. Orange in there too. Let's start getting like a bunch of colorful little things going on in the background here. And kind of cross all in with each other. I think it's working nicely. that's going to be a little fuzzy. We'll have to fix that at some point. Doesn't have to be tonight. But let's make some notes. You know what I mean? Nobody's here, so what do I care? Watch, somebody's going to pop in like right now. I'll be like, sorry, I'm leaving. Sorry. Should have been here when I've done my times that I say I am. Maybe it's because I never post Eastern. Maybe I need to post that, right? I don't post Eastern Standard Time. I gotta make sure people know it's Eastern Standard. Oh, now the fucking ice cream guy comes around? You gotta be fucking kidding me. I hear the ice cream guy. It's fucking 8:45 at night, asshole. School night. Come back like the summer, it's fine when he comes around like this late. But it's like, dude, it's fucking school night. Like I said, this is building, so we're going to be back and forth with this. I know it might look a little absurd right now. And that's okay. It can look absurd. The fuck are you talking about, Alexa? Stop. Anyway. Alright, so great conversations, everybody. And yes, you did just see me flip off my Echo Dot. So, this is where we are. This is what we did. Have a good night. Let's cut this thing over here. Peace.